My friend, picture this scenario. It is 1985. Your grandfather owns a dog. Its name is Buster. Buster lives in a wooden doghouse in the backyard. He eats table scraps or generic dry food from a 50-pound bag that cost $4. He sleeps on an old rug in the garage. His job is to bark at strangers, chase squirrels, and occasionally be patted on the head. He is an animal. Now, fast forward to 2025. Look at the creature living in your apartment. Its name is not Buster. Its name is Theodore, or Bella. It does not sleep in the garage. It sleeps in your bed on a memory foam orthopedic mattress that cost more than your own pillows. It does not eat scraps. It eats human-grade, organic, grain-free turkey stew delivered to your door by a frozen subscription service. It has a stroller. It has a raincoat. It has a therapist for its separation anxiety. If you tried to explain Theodore to your grandfather, he would think you had lost your mind. But to you, this is normal. You don't see an animal. You see a family member. But here is the uncomfortable truth that nobody wants to tell you. This shift didn't happen by accident. Somewhere in the last 40 years, corporate America pulled off one of the most successful psychological operations in history. They didn't just sell you a dog. They engineered a fundamental rewrite of your brain's parenting protocol. They realized that if they could rebrand a biological animal into a fur baby, they could bypass your logic completely and tap directly into your wallet without you ever putting up a fight. My name is Philly. I am not a financial advisor. I am your mind surgeon. And today, we are going to perform a forensic operation on the $136 billion pet economy. I am going to show you how the industry hacked your biology, why that golden doodle is actually a Veblen Good, designed to signal status, and how we are going to reverse engineer the brainwashing that is turning your loneliness into their profit. Let's pick up the scalpel and look at the pathology of this infection. We call it the humanization virus. In economics, price elasticity is the idea that as something gets more expensive, you buy less of it. If the price of beef goes up, you buy chicken. That is rational behavior. But when it comes to children, price elasticity is zero. If your child is sick, you don't ask, how much is the cure? You pay whatever they ask. You mortgage the house. You destroy your finances to save the child. The pet industry realized this was the ultimate cheat code. By shifting the label from pet, variable cost, to child, infinite cost, they removed your price sensitivity. This brings us to the total cost of ownership, TCO. Most of you think a dog costs the adoption fee plus maybe $50 a month. This is a delusion. This is the financial equivalent of looking at an iceberg and only seeing the tip. Let's look at the X-ray of a modern pet parent's finances in 2025. The acquisition. A breeder puppy now costs between $3,000 and $5,000. The subscription food, $150 a month. That's $1,800 a year. The medical routine visits, flea prevention, and the inevitable 2 a.m. emergency. Average, $1,200 a year. The services, dog walkers, grooming, daycare. Average $2,500 a year. You are spending roughly $6,000 of post-tax income every single year. Over a 15-year lifespan, that is $90,000 in direct costs. But as a surgeon, I have to look at the blood loss you don't see. We must apply the first law of financial anatomy, opportunity cost. If you had taken that $6,000 a year and injected it into the S&P 500 with an average 8% return, do you know what the terminal value is after 15 years? $182,000. Yes, you heard right, $182,000. That animal didn't just cost you a few bags of kibble. It cost you a down payment on a house. It cost you 4 years of early retirement freedom. You are walking an $18,200 asset on a leash that poops on the sidewalk. And you are doing it with a smile on your face because the virus in your brain tells you it's priceless. So why do we do it? Why do we voluntarily infect our finances with this parasite? The diagnosis is clear. You are suffering from biological status anxiety. This brings us to the concept of the Veblen paradox. In the late 1800s, economist Thorstein Veblen noticed that for certain luxury goods, the demand goes up because the price is high. The high price is the feature. It signals to the tribe, I have so many resources I can afford to waste them. The pet industry has successfully turned living, breathing creatures into Veblen Goods. Go to a shelter right now. You can get a loyal, healthy, genetically diverse mutt for a $50 adoption fee. That is the rational economic choice. But that is not what the modern consumer does. Instead, they get on a 6-month waiting list for a French bulldog or a miniature Australian shepherd that costs $5,000. Why? Because that specific breed is a logo. Walking a Frenchie in a trendy neighborhood signals the exact same thing as driving a G-Wagon. It says, I am successful. I am part of the elite. You are engaging in pecuniary emulation. You aren't buying a companion. You are buying a biological accessory to match your Instagram aesthetic. And here is the twist that proves the fur baby narrative is a lie. This is the Boots theory in reverse. Usually, poor people are forced to buy cheap things that break. In the pet economy, rich people, or people pretending to be rich, pay a massive premium for fragility. These designer breeds are genetic disasters. By choosing the status symbol dog over the resilient mutt, you are signing a contract for thousands of dollars in future medical bills before the dog even learns to sit. You are signaling wealth by purchasing a liability. We have identified the initial tumor, the status purchase, but now we must observe how the infection spreads to the rest of your financial organs. In the 18th century, the philosopher Denis Diderot lived a humble life until he acquired a beautiful scarlet robe. The robe was magnificent, but when he put it on, he noticed that his old rug looked dirty in comparison, so he replaced the rug. Then his chair looked cheap next to the new rug, so he replaced the chair. Eventually, he went broke, upgrading his entire house to match the elegance of one robe. In 2025, the scarlet robe is your new dog. This is the Diderot effect, and it is the mechanism by which a $500 puppy triggers a $50,000 consumption chain reaction. Let's trace the pathology of this spiral. 1. The anchor. You buy the dog. 2. The clash. The dog sheds on your cloth sofa. It looks dirty. The aesthetic is ruined. 3. The upgrade. You don't just buy a cover. You buy a new pet-friendly leather sectional for $3,000. 4. The expansion. The dog needs exercise, but your sedan is too small for the crate. Suddenly, you are at the dealership trading in your paid-off Honda for a $50,000 SUV because Theodore needs room. You tell yourself these are necessary expenses. They are not. They are identity consistency purchases. You have adopted the identity of the good pet parent, and that identity demands a stage that matches the actor. The industry knows that the moment you identify as a pet parent, your price sensitivity drops to 0. You stop asking, do I need this? And start asking, does he deserve this? And the answer is always yes, because guilt is the most profitable marketing strategy in history. You are not just buying for the dog. You are curating a lifestyle around the dog. Now, let's look at the monthly blood work. I see a massive drop in your liquidity caused by what I call vampire costs. In the old days, you bought a bag of dog food when you ran out. You felt the pain of the transaction. You were conscious of the cost. Today, the pet economy has moved you from conscious spending to frictionless spending. They have turned a biological animal into a SaaS, software as a service business model. Look at your bank statement. You are likely subscribed to BarkBox, $35 per month for toys the dog destroys in 10 minutes. The Farmer's Dog, $200 per month for refrigerated stew. Pet insurance, $80 per month for a policy that has a $500 deductible and denies 90% of claims. Chewy Auto Ship, $50 per month for treats. You are paying a monthly rent to keep your dog alive. These corporations rely on subscription fatigue. They know that if they can get you to subscribe once, you will never cancel because you're too lazy, too busy, or too guilty. My diagnosis is severe. You have layered so many small $20 charges on top of each other that your dog now has a higher monthly burn rate than your own grocery budget. You are feeding the animal organic turkey while you are eating ramen. This is not love. This is a mathematical error. You are bleeding out $20 at a time, and the industry has handed you a sedative so you don't even feel it. Now we arrive at the darkest part of the autopsy. This is where the industry stops trying to sell you toys and starts holding a gun to your head. I call this the medical hostage protocol. When you walk into a veterinary clinic in 2025, you are not entering a service business. You are entering a high-stakes negotiation where one side has all the leverage and you have none. The vet puts an X-ray on the screen. They look at you with grave concern. They say, "He has a blockage. We can perform surgery, but it will cost $7,000. Or there is the other option. In that exact second, your brain undergoes a cognitive bandwidth failure. Studies show that when humans are under extreme scarcity or emotional stress, their functional IQ drops by about 13 points. The industry knows this. They know you cannot do math when you're crying. They have weaponized your empathy. Because you have accepted the fur baby virus we discussed in part 1, your brain does not see an animal with a blockage. It sees a child in danger. This triggers cognitive dissonance. You think of yourself as a good parent. A good parent does not put a price tag on life. So to protect your identity, you hand over the credit card. You agree to the $7,000 debt at 24% interest. You are not paying for the dog's survival. You are paying to resolve the conflict in your own ego. You are paying to avoid the guilt. Let's be forensically accurate here. This is the monetization of empathy. If your car engine blew up and the mechanic said it would cost $15,000 to fix a 10-year-old car worth $2,000, you would scrap the car. That is rational asset management. But when the asset has a name and sleeps in your bed, rationality is classified as cruelty. The industry creates a binary trap: bankruptcy or murder. Those are the only two options they present to you. But I am here to tell you that signing a loan document that destroys your future financial security is not an act of love. It is an act of financial submission. You are suffering from the sunk cost fallacy. You have already invested so much money and emotion into the animal that you feel compelled to throw good money after bad, terrified of wasting the previous investment. Philly's diagnosis: you are being played. The vet is not just a doctor. They are the closer in a sales funnel designed to extract your maximum willingness to pay before you have time to think. The surgery is complete. We have removed the tumor. We have identified the virus. Now I must give you the prescription to keep the infection from returning. You cannot just try harder to save money. You need a structural override of your psychology. Here is your rehabilitation plan. 1. The nomenclature. Detox. Stop calling yourself a pet parent. Words shape reality. You are an owner. An owner has a budget. An owner has liability limits. A parent has infinite liability. By reclaiming the title of owner, you reactivate the logical part of your brain. It allows you to make decisions based on math, not just hormones. 2. The self-insurance strategy: kill the vampire, cancel the pet insurance. It is a mathematical scam for 90% of people. Instead of paying $80 a month to a corporation that will deny your claim, open a separate high-yield savings account. Call it the Vet Fund. Set up an automatic transfer of $80 a month. If the dog stays healthy, you keep the money. If the dog gets sick, the money is there. You are capturing the opportunity cost instead of giving it to an insurance company. You become the house. The house always wins. 3. The friction implementation. Delete the Chewy app, cancel the BarkBox, unsubscribe from the auto ship. We talked about frictionless spending. You need to reintroduce friction. Force yourself to drive to the store to buy food. When you have to physically tap your card, you will buy the food, but you will skip the $20 costume the dog hates. You need to feel the pain of payment to stop the bleeding. 4. The Toyota selection. If you do not have a pet yet, but want one, do not buy the Range Rover, the French Bulldog, the Cavalier King Charles, the Purebreds. These are luxury vehicles with catastrophic maintenance schedules. They are Veblen Goods designed to signal status. Go to the shelter, get a mixed breed. In biological terms, this is called hybrid vigor. In financial terms, this is buying a used Toyota Camry. It runs forever, requires low maintenance, and loves you just as much as the $5,000 genetic disaster. Stop signaling wealth by purchasing a liability. Listen to me. The animal in your house does not know the difference between a $10 toy and a $100 toy. It does not care if its food is ancient grains or standard kibble. It does not care about your status. It only cares that you are there. You are bankrupting yourself to impress a creature that eats its own vomit. You are trading your freedom, your retirement, and your peace of mind to service an industry that views your love as a weakness to be exploited. This isn't love. This is a mental illness funded by Visa and MasterCard. My name is Philly. I'm a mind surgeon. The parasite has been removed. Now sew up your wallet before you die of blood loss. You can also check out my related video on the other parasite, unnecessary spending in the weddings industry. Friends, take care and see you in other videos.